Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to this space. This is Urshi, your Ayurvedic health counselor at Wellness Wave Creations here on YouTube, or if you're watching this video on Facebook on our business page, welcome again. So today my thoughts are about water. It's one of the most fundamental elements out of the five, probably one of my most favorite. And so today my particular thoughts are on what we call the aquaporins. Aquaporins are like channels in a cell. It's like kind of a water channel, a canal, if you will. And so what I wanted to mention to you guys about, because so many people say, how come that this water you talk about is got electrical charge? What is that water, and what does it do for me, and why is it different, and why do we need to have that electrical charge in water? I mean, water, electricity, how does that really work together? So the discovery of this channel in the cell has been awarded to two doctors, if I'm not mistaken, and they have received the Nobel Prize for their findings on the aquaporin and its importance. And so I want to bring your attention to what we call the cell engine. It's called the mitochondria, and this little cell engine is responsible for producing energy. So because our cells are inside positively charged, it actually is going to do best with things that are negatively charged in order to be absorbed into the cell. So these we call antioxidants. They have some sort of an electrical value. It's measurable in millivolts, right? So let's say vitamin C is actually, I think, measured or prescribed at minus 57 millivolts. So that is why we do recommend it all the time when someone is sick, has a cold, flu, whatever, right? Or any other issues, problems, health problems, to say, let's charge up with some vitamin C. However, vitamin C, as also many other antioxidants that we all love, are much larger in size than this particular water, and the properties of it, with this electrical charge, with it being restructured, and how it is going to connect to the aquaporin, and why is it that it uploads better, like much better, to the 70% of your body is water. Imagine if you can upload the highest quality substance and the highest quality of water into your system, how that will upgrade everything else along with it. So they found that there are some spots in the world called the blue zones, and in the blue zones people live way beyond 100. So the most number of centurions are recorded in these particular spots of the earth. About 8, 9, 10 of the maximum that are left now with this kind of quality of water. They have noticed that that is the common denominator between these spots, which is why they named them the blue zones. So what happens is that the properties of these water, on one hand, is got negative charge. So it's got negative charge to it. It's got electrical charge, and that is in the form of the hydrogen in the water, molecular hydrogen. I'm not going to go into further details and science on this one, but anybody that wishes, I can share science and documents, as you know that I am a nerdy alchemist. So just ask for it, and I'll throw it into the comment below for you to view if you guys are interested. But what you need to remember is that because the cell is positively charged inside, it really loves negatively charged substance coming through the aquaporin. In this case, of course, we're talking about water. Now, tap water, filtered waters, bottled waters, any other reverse osmosis or distillation, all of them are actually positively charged. So we're not looking for that. We're looking for negatively charged water. And in this particular case, when you put together a positively charged batteries and to the negatively charged end of another battery, they attract each other, right? There's that attraction. While if you actually do put two positively charged ends of two batteries together, they will repel each other. So same thing happens when positively charged water substance comes through to the cell. The mitochondria says, how am I going to actually attract this water in better? Well, the mitochondria, your cell engine, decides to give electrical charge to that water. So in other words, it's almost like you're paying energetic coins from your cell engine, from your energy factory, pays for you to get a little bit of a hydration. And that little bit of a hydration is about 17 to 18% hydration in the system. And it is not very effective actually on the long run, which is why a lot of people are actually dehydrated. So what happens is not only that you have only 17 to 18% hydration from these kinds of waters now that are mostly processed, but eventually you pay some sort of a price for it. So while with electrolyzed reduced water, which I know is kind of very a mouthful to say, but that is the scientific term for the water that I'm talking about, that I call ionized water for short, or alkalized water. And check this in my previous video where I talked more about some water intel 101s. I'm not going to repeat those here. Welcome to check them out. We'll link them right at the end of this video. And so essentially, to put electrolyzed reduced water does a couple of things. Number one, it's got the electrical value of it, the electrical charge, right? It's got molecular hydrogen, the hydrogen value of this water. It's also why a lot of people might call this hydrogen water. Not necessarily accurate in its full truthfulness, but you might hear it as that as well. And that's because of the molecular hydrogen present in this kind of structured water. What that does is eventually it has therapeutic benefits, and it serves as one of the most powerful antioxidants known to mankind. Indeed, currently on earth, the most powerful antioxidant that does not require digestion. So it is an absolute, like usually minus 300 to minus 700 to 800 millivolts, depends on your source water, as you still want to actually use it from your source water through this amazing Japanese technology that actually converts it to this ionized water in your home. And the reason why this is important, you guys, is because where we are, where we live, the cities, in wherever you are, most of us don't live in these blue zones. We're not living on the top of the Himalayas. We live down in the cities. We live in a civilization and in a structure where, unfortunately, we no longer have access to these kinds of properties in water naturally. Even here, people are surprised when I tell them in British Columbia, where I am, where it's got the most beautiful nature and wonderful source water we have compared to many other places in the world, which is true, but also it does like the electrical charge. And the other thing is all of the water that we require on a daily basis cannot be supported by, running up to the top of the Himalayas and then bring it home in jugs. It just won't happen. So there are further other reasons for this as well. And antioxidant value, guys, whether you get it out of food or the most important nutrient, which is water, beyond food, no matter where the source is, the antioxidants only last about 48 hours in a substance after it is removed from its source. So in this case, whether you've got this technology on your kitchen counter, as I do, and many of this Vibe Tribe does that follow me, and if you don't, just ask the questions and they'll be answered. It is the best thing I've ever done for myself and my family. So yes, I am very passionate talking about this for almost a decade now, here on social media or in presentations all over the world. Is really the upgrade value of it energetically. It is actually in smaller clusters, so it does cause cellular hydration. It is the right structure. It's hexagonal in shape, and the reason being is because it is a true energetic frequency upgrade. Also, one of the essential things about water is that it does carry prana, and so for the transportation of prana and for high quality prana production, it is extremely important that you are properly and adequately hydrated, and it's not at the level of 17 to 18% of processed waters. Also, remember, every single day we lose about 2 liters of water. So imagine if you're not hydrated, every single day you're putting your system in more and more of a deficit. So you're in a hydration deficit, and hydration and hydrogen connect. We'll talk about this also more in another video. So just to wrap it up, what I want to summarize is that the aquaporin and the positively charged cell loves the negatively charged water. It wants the negative millivolts. So imagine cancer cells turning on at plus 30 millivolts. So the more negative millivolts you're putting into the system, the better it is, just to even offset your electrical panels, so to speak. Water is the most important nutrient, not food. A lot of the macro minerals are all found in a bioavailable format, rather in original source water rather than in bottles. They do have, even though I use a lot of supplements, my clients, I give and recommend a lot of supplements, but eventually the frequency or energetic value of those are much less than when something is bioavailable. I also have a separate video on that. We'll talk about organic and inorganic and carbon structures and all kinds of funky stuff. And so remember that the difference between a clump of coal and a clump of diamond is the actual structure. Same composition, different structure. So the structure is the secret. It's the way to go forward. It is super age of Aquarius. It is the perfect timing for you to realize that this is actually the best way, the simplest way to upgrade your system with a massive gain. So anyways, this was about the aquaporin, a little bit of electrical charge, and we'll talk more about oxidative stress. We'll talk about like these properties separately in different videos. So I welcome you to continue my water intel and all my Ayurvedic health tips and hacks for your benefit to learn about the knowledge of life, Ayurveda. So thank you so much for watching this video. I welcome you to follow us, subscribe, like, comment. They will all help this channel tremendously so we can get these messages to as many beautiful souls as possible on earth, and here or on Facebook, where you're welcome to please follow and like the page, and maybe just press that little bell notification here on YouTube so that you get notified next time when I've got new content for you. And thank you once again. Namaste. Have a beautiful day. Adios.